There we go. Now we're rocking. All right, guys, we are back live again. Quick, I guess another night of reviewing. We're going to catch up on a couple albums, looks like. We're going to, I know that in the title it says that we're doing the DragonForce review, but we're also going to go back and revisit Anderson East. We have a tangent in our last episode, so we decided that we didn't want to post it yet. Eventually, we may, who knows. Regardless, we've got a couple reviews. We're going to talk about a couple of concerts that's happened since our last one. And let's rock with it. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Anthony, who is now not in the dark, thank God.
Hey, video's working. It's awesome. The magic of actual technology. Good job, man.
Magic of the internet, which has been around for how long now?
I don't know, man. A couple of days anyway. All right. So, what the heck? Who wants to start this off? Do y'all want to do Anderson East first, or do y'all want to do DragonForce? Since Anderson East was the oldest, we can do that one.
Let's go ahead and kind of quickly hit that one if you want to.
All right.
Get it out of the way.
I really want to do Anderson East.
Yeah, it was. You want to do that first, Anthony?
That was a bad joke, man.
I was like, what?
Come on, guys, wake up.
Dude, I'm so tired it hurts. Chris knows I'm tired.
I'm tired as well. We can knock this out. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll start off on this one since I'm the one that recommended it. I enjoyed it. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 overall. My favorite songs on the album were "Find 'Em, Fool 'Em, and Forget 'Em" and "Devil and Me." He's got a good voice, man. I like his soul and his. I don't know. It's just I know I was more eloquent the last time on this because it was fresh on my mind, but it's good. It's good music. It's good stuff you can find locally. He's the kind of guy that'll show up in a club somewhere and you get 50 feet from him and like I don't know. This is good stuff, man. And I don't know who would you guys compare him to sound wise.
The last time I said Otis Redding, but Jimmy about killed me over that one.
I think the 70s vibe was there for sure. He definitely has an early R&B vibe, yeah, I think.
Soul too. It's not just R&B. It's kind of like a soul.
Well, soul. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. Soul. R&B soul. We're thinking of R&B today. R&B back then was soul. You know what I mean?
Like 1960s vibe.
Yeah, 60s, early 70s. Well, definitely 60s and early 70s. And I'll go ahead and go next because obviously you guys know this is not my forte by no means, but it's a good album. I think it was a great album. I know we talked about it last time. I kind of gave it really high scores. Listen to it again today, and it's because I got so much freaking metal on my mind is the reason why I'm like, it's very good though, Chris. And I'm actually leaning back toward Chris. Maybe 8.5 is what it should have been instead of a 9 last time. And identical, like we said, like we joked last time, dude. My favorite songs were that "Find 'Em, Fool 'Em, Forget 'Em," and God, did y'all not like "What a Woman Wants to Hear"? I like "Devil and Me" is my other favorite, but did you like
"What a Woman Wants to Hear"? Rated high for me too.
That's a fantastic song. Yeah. So I may have a 3-way tie with my favorite songs, and my least favorite, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was either "Lonely" or "Keep the Fire Burning." I can't remember between the two of those. But
I felt like the album lost steam near the end. I agree with you on that. I think it would have been at least a solid 9, maybe a little higher than that if it would have maintained. But
yes, okay, that's exactly how I feel. But overall, it is a fantastic album for what it is, and I would recommend this for anybody that's a fan of soul or want to explore somebody because his voice does not match his looks. I will leave it at that. And you're right. Seeing this guy, you're right. We can see him in a club, a small bar.
And by the way,
50 feet away,
when he tours, he has like a whole brass section with him. The stage is full of people when he's when he's. I saw him live a couple of years ago, and there were at least 10 people on the stage. It's crazy. He's got a whole band. He's got a brass.
That's crazy. All right. Well, obviously, I'm going through it. Anthony, what was your opinions? I know you've had a chance to go back and revisit. I guess maybe not.
I listened to a little bit of it today again, and I'm still sitting at about a 9 for it. And most of the songs you guys talked about are the ones I kind of like too. But
well, they're great songs, man. Today,
But I didn't. There really wasn't a bad song on here for me. So, I
wow.
like,
Okay.
Find Them, Fool Them, and Forget Them. Definitely when it's
Fantastic.
I actually like to Keep the Fire Burning a lot too, which you guys seem to.
It was. I'm with Chris. I think it kind of slows off at the end there. It didn't keep my attention like
I didn't think any of it was bad as far as that.
No.
I don't think I agree. I don't think it's a bad song on the album either. It's just some are better than others, and it seems like all the good stuff was clumped near the front end of it. So
I was kind of surprised how much I liked this one when I listened to it. I haven't listened to it much since, but the first time I listened to it, I actually did really like it a lot. But
well, it's like I said. Right. It's not my forte. I know, Chris, this is definitely more in lines of the stuff that you would listen to on a regular rotation versus what I would listen to on a regular rotation. Now, I know that I'm trying to rub off on you and get you to listen to some heavier stuff, but not like I'm dragging you to shows and making you see all these death metals. But
exactly.
Anyway.
That never happens, right?
I tell you, Jimmy, you haven't even been influencing me, and I've been listening to heavier stuff.
I know, right? But Anthony, if you lived up here, I'd be taking you with me to these crazy shows they have in these bars. It's retarded, man. I love it.
I wouldn't mind to see it, man. I plugged in Death into one of my Pandora stations.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, Death's awesome.
That's the name of a band.
Yeah. They were actually one of the pioneers of death metal. It's one of the greatest guitarists ever to play. He died of brain cancer when he was only like 27 years old or something. He wasn't that old. He was maybe 30. His name was Chuck Schuldiner.
What time frame was that?
I think the first Death album came out in probably 85, 84, probably 85, because they were like, this is mid 80s. Yeah, this is back when death metal really wasn't a genre. They were just metal, and it was real extreme. And man, Schuldiner was a genius.
Yeah, I was watching something about the top 10 death metal acts or something like that on YouTube, and Livewire. They got a bunch of cool stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Livewire does that stuff all the time. And Livewire's pretty good thing to watch on
they
YouTube.
Were showing. I was like, I have to listen to a couple of these bands, see what they sound like. So yeah, anyways.
Well, that's good to hear.
Let's roll on the DragonForce.
So I was the one that picked this DragonForce album, is that correct? Or did Anthony pick DragonForce? How do we do that?
I believe Anthony suggested DragonForce and you picked the album, Jimmy. I think that's
okay. Well, Anthony, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Because either way, it doesn't matter. We both are fairly good fans.
Yeah. I mean, you can go first, Jimmy. I'm trying to get my tablet pulled up.
All right. So a little background on this. I was a fan of DragonForce long before this album came out. And I was familiar with their guitar. As you guys know, I love playing guitar, love guitar and bass music, period. This is a shred power metal band, and this is what power metal is all about. Fast guitars, some high-pitched vocals sometimes, a lot of times, I guess you could say. When I first got this album, New Singers, his first album with these guys, I literally heard the game, and it changed me at the beginning of that album. I was hooked. And I will go ahead and tell you, this is probably my favorite song on this album. I know that you guys may not agree, but the way that song starts off, the way that verse kicks in, the hook kicks in, it hooks me for this whole album. By far, the game, 3 hammers high, or 3 hammers. And don't laugh, dude. I like Symphony of the Night, too. I mean, I think that's a great song. Tomorrow's Kings is a good song. As far as bad songs, maybe Defenders. I don't know.
No, not Defenders, man. Defenders is a killer song.
It is good. That's the thing. Like Chris just said on Anderson East, in my mind, there's not a bad song on this album. I think this album is. I'm gonna probably make a lot of DragonForce fans upset. This may be the best DragonForce album. Besides the what was the one? Is it called Valley of the Damned? Is that the one?
Yeah, through the Valley of the Damned, or the Valley of the Damned.
Yeah, Valley of the Damned. I think that may be considered the fan favorite or the true fan favorite, whatever. That is an awesome album, and this is an awesome album. 2 different eras of DragonForce. This album is super duper strong in my opinion, and Herman Lee, incredible guitarist. I mean, my God, dude. Yeah, both these guys shred like nobody's business. In my opinion, this is. I don't know how I'm gonna rate this one. Honestly, because I can go down through and be like, "This song's a 10, this song's a 9, this song's an 8, or whatever." This is absolutely a 9 in my opinion in DragonForce's book.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it at that. Anthony, you go ahead and take over. I'm telling you, this is a great Great DragonForce album to me.
You know, DragonForce is a band that I really hooked up with pretty hard. I mean, I honestly don't think they have a bad album. Probably not a bad song, man. I don't think I've heard anything bad by them at all. I don't know, y'all listened to Tesla in a long time, but that's another a lot of any bad music from them either. You know, and you can't find a little few black spots here and there, but I've never heard anything bad about DragonForce. And this album is like Jimmy said, this is a solid 9, maybe a 9.5 for me.
I'm telling you, man, I think this album's excellent.
And to put an album out like this after losing the original lead singer that you built your big fan base on,
seriously, yeah, dude, no mercy.
So this isn't the original singer that's
no, dude. That's
they got sound a lot different, or is it pretty similar?
Well, no, they sang similar, but this guy has a different range. I like this guy's vocal better than I like the original singer's.
What happened to the original singer?
He has more of a
honestly, I
don't know.
He's got more of a low end.
More of a, I don't know, maybe a classic power metal singer or something from back in the '80s or something. You know?
Like you're talking about like a Bruce Dickinson style. Yeah.
You know.
Right.
3 Hammers High, for goodness sakes.
Oh my God, dude. Dude, does that not make you want to pick up a freaking pitcher of beer and down it?
I go nuts even when the kids are up and that song comes on. I just go insane. I don't care who's here. I don't care who's home.
Dude, just give me a second. Let me grab something. Oh my God. I'm not a huge fan of this stuff, but there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
That's their live DVD. It is absolutely awesome. And it's from the first tour he did with him, man. Absolutely phenomenal.
And he kills it on the original songs, too.
God, yes. Absolutely. Because I've got did I give you this live album? Did I give you a copy of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This live album absolutely blast. Yeah, right. This album absolutely destroys the live album, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. Oh, my God. I got to shut up because I know Chris had virgin ears on this stuff. And I'm not trying to sway you in any way. You know, you're going to give us a true opinion. And I know that you're not a fan of power metal at all. So,
that's a fair thing to say. Yeah.
Well, no. I'm just saying, when it comes to metal, I know what you like. Right. Yeah. Right. You're not familiar with this style. I mean, we could have done Hammerfall. We could have done, God, countless other bands that, I mean, good Lord.
Iron Savior.
Yeah, Iron Savior's awesome, by the way. Stradivarius, could have done Gamma Ray, could have done Halloween. I mean, these guys are right up there with some of the greatest and classic power metal.
Technically, Iron Maiden was sort of the pioneers of power metal.
Well, I've heard that argument. I don't agree with it. I think they are heavy metal, and they certainly went progressive toward the end of their career. Progressive heavy metal, and I love it. Love it. Just about everything they've done, I love. So, nonetheless, sorry, dude, Anthony, you go ahead, keep on rattling, man.
Well, no, I was just saying, talking about lead singers that can't replace people. When Blaze Baylor replaced Bruce Dickinson, that was a classic case of a singer who cannot sing Dickinson's songs.
Oh, he couldn't, dude. Those are huge shoes to fill. And think about the same thing happened with Judas Priest.
He didn't have the vocal range either, Jimmy. I mean, not just the shoes. At least these guys at DragonForce, they got a guy that can actually sing the song. You know.
Yeah.
Blaze Bayley could not, man. He was dead in the water when he didn't sing his own songs.
Why would a band hire somebody to come in and that didn't have the range of the previous singer?
Well,
I mean, it's just hard to find somebody like that. I don't know.
And I don't know how true this is. I will tell you this. I think that whenever Dickinson had his falling out with the band, that they literally wanted to go a different direction. Yeah. And didn't want to go back to they still wanted to play their style of music, but they did not want to go to the same style that Dickinson led them in. And you can see there's a progression of, I mean, those what he did 2 albums with them, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Virtual XI is probably one of the worst albums they ever did. So.
Right. They just couldn't get a good formula. And the thing is, when you got a fan base that is expecting Number of the Beast, Power Slave, Peace of Mind, albums like that, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and they're expecting that kind of rock, and you bring in a guy that, what was the name of his band? Wolfen, I think is what they were called. You bring in a guy from that band that were not that popular, if you remember, Anthony. They had like a couple of MTV songs, but they were not. He wasn't. Well, I remember I remember a couple of videos. God, Manhunt. There's a song called Manhunt. Look that up. It's a great song. It's old. You guys will laugh when you see the video because it's absolute MTV garbage. But it's a great song. But it's not Maiden. You know what I mean? He's not Maiden's voice. I'll say I appreciate what they tried to do because I mean Bruce Dickinson went on and did more heavy metal. His solo albums are decent, but I didn't like them any better than I like the Iron Maiden stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you. I think you liked them pretty good though, didn't you, Anthony?
Well, I got one of his solo greatest hits or something, but I think the X Factor might be their best album of the '90s with the new singer. It was a nice change for him.
You've lost your mind.
It's a close tie to No Prayer for the Dying. One of those two.
No Prayer for the Dying is by far the better of those albums.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Bring me your daughter to your. Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, X Factor, man, was a great change for them, man, that decade.
Stop talking. You're only making yourself look crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. Listen, man. We're going to argue about this. All right, Chris, you need to talk. You got to tell us your initial opinions of DragonForce, for the love of God.
Okay, I want to preface this by saying, because there was a delay in this, I was able to listen to this twice. And I don't know, I guess the first time I listened to pretty much everything you guys have introduced to this podcast has had a lot of growl in it, a lot of, you know what I mean? And this has absolutely none of that. So I kept waiting for that, and I was like, the guitar, obviously, and the instrumentals are just tremendous all the way through this. I read a review afterward of this just to see other people's opinion on it. And I guess they acted like there was some controversy in the music industry, thinking these people kind of tinkered with the stuff in the studio, and they actually weren't capable of playing it that fast. But if you say that they do this live, I mean that's just some guy I read, some review I read online. I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
I promise you, it looks good on video, and you can
tell. Tonight. And I was like, this is really pretty good. I mean, it took me a while. I guess I really enjoyed the Johnny Cash cover there.
Oh yeah, Ring of Fire. They do that live.
That was really good. I like Symphony of the Night as well, and of course Three Hammers. Those were good songs. I guess if I had to pick a worst, Extraction Zone was a little funky there. I don't know if that was my favorite song. Although it did kind of like it for a while, it was weird, and then it kicked in and it was pretty good. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Cool. I liked it. I gave it a 7 out of 10 at first, and then I was like, when I started listening to it, I was like, this is better than that. So I think it just took me a little while. I do have some notes on this you might find comical. I wrote these notes after my first listen when I wasn't sure I really liked it that much. I said it. I thought it had a bit of a Trans-Siberian Orchestra quality to it.
That's actually
I don't know. It seems kind of like they had like an 80s hair metal sound to the vocals anyway, with tremendously better instrumentals. So that was my take.
I don't know if I'd go with hair metal.
Absolutely has that sound, in my opinion. Gina was listening. I was like, does it sound like Stryper to you? And she's like, yeah, it sounds like Stryper. The vocals.
That's actually a compliment, man.
I'll take it. Yeah. That's a compliment, man.
That's a compliment.
I mean, I'm not, hey, we grew up on hair metal. I'm not dissing it, but it does have that sound, like an 80s. I don't know. It's not like a growl you guys are normally throwing out here, so it's totally different from anything we've listened to.
It's funny, Chris, you say that because power metal is one of my favorite genres to listen to. I don't know why we've been doing so much growling music, but that's not my favorite style of music. But
it's not. I wouldn't know that from everything you guys have brought forth so far.
Well, man, I tell you, for some reason, I found them on Amarth, and they've just opened this gateway to this other kind of music I've never listened to before.
Well, they're not really power metal, are they? I mean, they had more growl than
like growling metal. I mean, it's but.
So what's the definition of power metal? Is it vocals kind of what make it that?
Well, no, it's like very, very fast. It's you got to be an excellent guitarist. I think it's definitely crucial. You got to have a vocalist that can sing, not just growl. They have to be able to sing. They got to be able to do some of the higher pitch stuff. They've also got to be able to make epic type songs, meaning they've got to be able to tell a story that is in the realm of fantasy, because that's what they're basically singing about. And a lot of these bands.
A lot of these bands are fan. They got a lot of fantasy.
Oh, dude, Blind Guardian. That's all we'll say. Jesus Christ, dude. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons record.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I mean, when you think of power metal, that's exactly what you're supposed to. In my mind, I picture that kind of realm of dragons and wizardry and stuff like that, because that's kind of the shape that power metal took after Halloween broke loose and went awesome. I was 86, 85. I mean, I can't even remember. And I was a kid, 10 years old, 9 years old, 11 years old, whatever it was when they came out, dude. And I remember Halloween, that's got to be some heavy stuff. And it wasn't what I quite expected, but it was fantastic.
Okay.
Incredible guitarists, but the song has to have melody. It's not huge in the United States, and that's the thing. In Europe, it's like the music.
Well, I was going to ask, how come none of these bands ever travel around where we, like, even in the South even? I never see any of them. Like,
well, we missed DragonForce. We could have saw them at like the racetrack Concord last year when they did that.
The problem is a lot of these bands, they have to tour on festivals. They don't really tour by themselves, so it's harder to get down there and see sort of things. It's just so many days.
That's the truth. Now I'm trying to think. Like Hammerfalls was touring. I think they're on tour now.
They're coming to Durham, actually.
Right.
Hammerfall.
See, that's a band I would love to see, but man, with my new job, guys, it's hard for me to get time off. And believe me, I would love to see them. I've got a list. I've got a list of power metal bands that I've never seen. I'd love to see. Halloween is doing. Do you know Halloween is doing a reunion tour right now, Anthony?
Really, I didn't know.
With all the original members, they're going through all the different years of music. It's like the guys that went on before Gamma Ray, because Gamma Ray is basically half of Halloween.
Yeah.
They are back together. It's like a big party, and apparently they're doing like 6 shows in the United States, and you can imagine the cities.
Yeah.
And they're selling out everywhere they go because it's a huge event.
When you say you can imagine the cities, what cities are you talking about?
It's like New York, it's LA, it's New York, LA. I don't even remember Miami's on it.
Chicago, probably.
Yeah, Chicago's one of them. God, there's like Vegas, maybe.
Nothing that you're ever.
There is nothing anywhere near us remote. I think. Well, you know what? They might be playing in Boston or DC. I can't remember, but I know that they're playing the majority of these big cities, like doing 2 nights in New York or something. Yeah. I mean, and it's great. I would love to see it. My buddy Chuck, the older guy that I go see shows with, that is a friend of mine. He wants to see it almost more than anything, because that's one of the bands that he loved when he was, Chuck was in a band when he was younger, guys. He's a guitarist. He's an incredible guitarist, and that's why me and him bonded, I think, as friends when I worked with him at Lowe's years ago. And he introduced me to tons of music that I never listened to, and I introduced him to tons of music he never listened to, and I got him on the heavy stuff, and he kind of swayed me more toward the power metal stuff and like the shreddy stuff, the Joe Stumps, the John Fives, and things like that. But
man, it came up for John Five. I remember when
yeah, and that's never going to happen again. Nah, dude. If it does, I'd be shocked. John Five took me towards bigger cities.
Well, he's also Rob Zombie's guitarist, right? So I see
right.
Over him now.
Oh yeah.
Did you happen to see where Buffett and the Eagles are actually going to double tour together at some point in time?
I did see that.
But
nowhere near. That's what I was getting at.
Probably on a Tuesday night. I don't know what it is with Buffett. It's like every show he does anymore looks like it's on a Monday or Tuesday night. Why can't they guy tour on the weekends?
He does Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's his night.
That's just what he does, dude. He works 3 days a week. What do you say about it, Chris?
He basically wants you to take the day off and party and have a good time and just relax and chill out. And he feels like by making you play on a Tuesday, you're going to do that, and he's going to force you to do that on Wednesday.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people have to take 2 days off because they got to travel to see him, get a hotel, and then spend the night and take the next day.
I've been waiting for him to come back to Raleigh. He didn't come back to Raleigh in a while, it seems like.
Dude, I haven't seen him in so many years. I'd love to see him one more time because, let's face it, guys, he ain't getting no younger. And I went through a time of loving some Buffett after you guys got me listening to it. So
I'm pretty sure I've seen my last Buffett show, and that's fine. I saw him plenty. So.
Man, I would see him round the clock if I could, but I'm still heavy.
I wouldn't go that far, Anthony. I'd like to see him one more time, though.
Nah,
And I'd love to see him with the Eagles. Holy crap, dude!
Buffett's still on heavy rotation with me almost all the time now. I mean,
Jimmy, you want to discuss the show we went to last night?
Oh yeah. So we saw this local band last night called All That Remains. Oh my God, dude! What? I mean, all right. First of all, anybody that's watching this should know that obviously I love metal, and I will tell you this is the God honest truth. 10 years ago, almost maybe 11 years ago, Chris and I were at the beach together. I basically forced him to go see Trivium in concert because I was a huge Trivium fan at the time. Long story short, those guys are awesome, and especially back then. I think it was the Crusade tour nonetheless. But we go to this show. The first band was 36 Crazy Fists, which is a pretty hardcore band. They were decent. Trivium came on second. Well, the last band was All That Remains. I literally look at Chris, and after Trivium gets done, I was like, dude, we can catch one song. We can get the hell out of here. And Chris looks at me and goes, man, we might as well just stay. We ain't got nothing else to do. I think it was raining too. I can't even remember. So
I mean, you were there, we're on vacation. There's no need to leave.
Right. And I was like, all right.
These guys are worth. I mean, they're the headliner. I mean, might as well watch them.
Dude, we hung out. We watched the show, and I'm like, I walk away from there. Not only did I walk away a fan of All That Remains, I walk away buying a shirt of theirs when I came to see Trivium.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember, I know, Chris, you probably love it because that's something that you made me stay, and I appreciate it. And I probably would never gave him a chance because it never really followed in line, with what I thought I liked. Mm-hmm. And it turned out those guys were absolutely heavy and incredible. I've been a fan of them since, literally every single album that comes out. And not only they come to Johnson City regularly, they came twice in 2013, by the way, Chris. Twice.
Yeah,
really.
And I missed them. I didn't realize they were there either time until it was too late. But they played the Capone's place last night, and it sold out. Of course, it's not that big of a joint, but it sells out. They come out and they put on a show, and you can tell that I think they had fun.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I mean, my God, it's a weird thing when you see. I mean, we're older, dude. We got to admit it. We're older. I saw a bunch of older guys there last night.
Yeah, I don't think we were the oldest people there, but
no. And of course, there were young people there, and they were like, there was more girls than I ever thought would be at a show like that.
That was surprising because most of those shows are like 90% guys, and then the 10% are the girls that are girlfriends
that are with their boyfriends
along or something. Yeah.
And last night there were
plenty of girls singing along, man.
Right. I mean,
I was looking around, I was like, really? It was the more mellow stuff they were singing. They were
maybe it's their modified sound that they kind of brought some of the girls in.
I don't know what it is, Anthony, and it doesn't matter. They played some of their heaviest stuff. They played a couple of their slower songs, but I mean, he come out. He didn't care. He screamed. He yelled.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of this guy anyway. This guy's a libertarian through and through. He absolutely is. You think of a model libertarian, this is this dude because that's what he believes. He's guns and, each man for himself type situation. But, oh my God, dude. Fantastic show. I loved it. Sang along with everything I could. We stood right beside the sound guy last night. We were able to see the set list before he even came on the show.
Yeah, the guy had his laptop up, and we could look and see what the set list was, song by song.
We got to watch it partake. So, real quick before they got to playing, he's back here setting up, and they're trying to get the sound check in place. And they play. Apparently, All That Remains has a 10-minute track that they play before they come on. It lets so they get psyched up to come out on the stage. Well, something went wrong, and the guy on the soundboard had to take off running. So he runs out. I try to move out of his way and help move the grate. There's a guard, looks like a cattle guard. You know what I'm saying? A cattle fence type thing. We moved it out of the way, and he goes barreling through there and takes off. And the guy is literally gone for almost a full 10 minutes. He is gone for the full 10 minutes, isn't he? Because by the time he got back,
he was
they were coming on
spreading back to the soundboard. They were on the stage, starting to play.
So I'm opening this gate for this guy to let him back through, and he kind of gave me the fist bump and thanks kind of thing after the show got started, and we kind of stayed back there with him the whole time, even though I was wanting to run up front. I really did. Man, I know.
I need to get stuck in some mosh pit at my age, man.
Was it not great though?
That was good, man. It was really good.
It was great.
His microphone cut out about 3 different times during that show, so they were having some electronic issues there, no doubt about it.
Right, they did. But he played it off.
He laughed it off. Like
Yeah.
it only once bad. It was like about half of a song. His mic went out.
Yeah, the guitars were
like right in the middle of a big growl, and like it just like cuts out.
It was awesome.
He just kind of looked around and was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, because he kind of looked out at the crowd, and he held his, he gave him the big old this, and but they played a great set list. Oh my God, it was just a good night. And at the end of the show, there was a chance to, you can meet and greet the band. I went ahead and got that package. I went over there and stood in line with a handful of people. Got to meet them. Got to talk to them. Got a picture with the band, and it was just a humbling experience, man. I was telling Chris, I told Mike Martin, the second guitarist, not the guy that's the shredder, but the other guy that's the rhythm guitarist. I told him about how Chris and my buddy we saw you guys about 10 or 12 years ago down at Myrtle Beach at I told him the whole story, and I told him the whole thing, I told him, I said I didn't know who you guys really were. I said I knew of you, didn't know anything about you, and I said I was ready to leave. My buddy made me stay, and because of that, I have become a diehard fan of you guys since then. And he loved the story. He's like, "Oh my God, it's so long ago," and he's like, "Glad you came out tonight." And he had like more of a personality than the rest of them. And Phil couldn't really talk a whole lot because he just sang, and that's the guy who I respected the most, because if you want to look up some funny interviews, look up some Phil LeBon interviews whenever people start questioning him. He doesn't care what he says. He speaks his mind, and he is not politically correct. Let's just put that. There is no PC in his mouth. He doesn't care. It's great. I respect that because our country's gotten soft.
Didn't you say that the security people told you, like, now Phil's not going to talk to you, he'll whisper, but that's this guy destroys his voice so much he can't even talk after the show.
They warned us. They said, they basically put it this way. He's like, Phil's not going to do a lot of talking. He said, and he's not that he's shy. He's not trying to be an ass. He screams. He yells all night long. He's got to preserve his voice every show because they're doing 15 nights in a row.
That's crazy, man.
And that is
I
have no idea.
How do you recover so fast after something like that? That's what I don't know.
He's really healthy. I mean, Anthony.
He must have like honey and lemon and tea is waiting for him on the bus. I don't know, man. It's hard. I don't know what the guy does.
They are they're okay. So out of those 5 members, I think 3 of them are like really, really health conscious. Phil's one.
They're all ripped. I mean, these guys are huge. There's got to be like a gym on that bus, especially LeBon. I think he got to look like a damn bodybuilder. It was crazy, man.
Dude,
I didn't expect that.
Oh my, dude, you're right. It's absolutely.
I heard a band today.
Do what?
Hey, Jimmy, I heard a band today called Austrian Death something was the name.
Oh, Austrian Death Machine. Hilarious, dude.
Was that the lead singer of All That Remains that did that?
No, it was the guy from. Oh God, what's the name of that band? The dude tried to kill his wife as I lay dying.
Okay.
Yeah,
they were really good, actually.
As I Lay Dying is the name, and he tried to kill his wife.
Yeah, he went to jail he hired a hitman to kill his wife.
Oh hell, yeah.
He just got out of jail last Christmas.
So now is he As I Lay Crying?
Dude, I don't know. Have you ever seen what that dude looks like? He is huge.
I haven't.
Like he's a big old muscle bound dude.
Today that Austrian, what's it?
Austrian Death Machine. The Arnold Schwarzenegger vocals.
That's a pretty fun song, man.
Chris, I'll tell you, I got all their stuff. I should make y'all listen to it. It's retarded. Get in the chopper. Get in the chopper. There's a song called "Get in the Chopper," dude. And you got Arnold Schwarzenegger yelling. Oh my God, dude. It's retarded.
Yeah, I heard the song "Let It Rip" or something like that, or "I'm Ripped."
God.
Actually, wasn't too bad.
Hey, it's good music. It is good music. There's no denying it. I mean, you got to take it with it's very tongue in cheek. It's almost like gouache. Oh my God.
Sounds like it's kind of like a parody or something.
It really is. It is, man. It's a joke.
That was what it was meant to be when he did it. I thought it was the other guy that did. I didn't know it was As I Like Die. I thought it was the guys you saw last night.
Well, Anthony, I understand you have an album you want us to review for the
I think we got to throw some. We need to find some Christmas metal here for the holidays. And the best one I can think of is Twisted Sisters Christmas.
I looked his album up when you told me about this today.
Is it available on Amazon?
Yeah, it is. We can stream it on Amazon.
Thank goodness.
I'm just saying, man, it's it's entertaining, man. I enjoy listening to it.
I've listened to it. It's been a while.
We can do that. Should be fun.
In fact, one of my Pandora stations is Twisted Sister Holiday Radio. Brings in some good stuff, though, man. There's a lot of metal, Christmas metal. Amon Amarth has a Christmas song, if you believe that or
not. Really?
Now I'm listening.
Which song is it?
I don't know, man. It was like Viking Christmas or something was the name of it. Something like that.
That absolutely goes against all their morals, but whatever.
I'm just saying, man, I was surprised to hear it. I forgot the name of it. I need to look it up.
You should.
There's a lot, man. I mean, it's
we'll do the
try Twisted Sister Holiday Radio on Pandora and just listen to it for a little bit.
We'll do.
You'll be surprised with what comes up on that station sometimes.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I need my metal at Christmas, man. I mean, I like my traditional Christmas music. I need some metal too, you know.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they got some good stuff.
Just listen to that. So you guys don't see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra in the. You don't see that in what we just listened to, like, at all.
Yeah,
I don't know. I heard that, man. Like, it sounded like that with vocals. I thought. A lot faster and heavier, but you know, like.
But it was Was it Sabotage that started Trans?
Well, it's most of the members of Sabotage. That's correct. Most of the members of Sabotage.
Weren't they sort of power metalist?
Sabotage is they're a power metal band. I would consider them power metal.
So it kind of makes sense. They would probably sound. You'd probably hear that. It
does make sense. So a power metal band started Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
That is true. That is true.
That's interesting. Are they a bunch of Russians? Just out of curiosity,
what was that now?
Are they a bunch of Russians?
No, they're from New York, I think.
Where did they get the name Trans-Siberian?
I don't know. I really don't. They may have recruited somebody that was
out of Russia or something. I didn't know.
No, they're states. They're based in the United States. I think it's Chris Caffrey's band, and I can't remember the name of their singer. He died, didn't he? Anthony, is that correct? It seems like they had a prominent member die this past year of cancer. So I think I might be wrong, guys. Maybe he's just got cancer and didn't die, but I know he's pretty bad off.
Yeah.
Where do you get all this information from, Jimmy?
I read a lot of metal sites, dude. As you guys know, that's what I troll those sites like a reject. I mean, I just look for news, man. I mean, like Metal Injection, I look at that site a lot. Metal Sucks. Although those guys are a bunch of liberal nut jobs, I read their site a lot. And Blabbermouth. Blabbermouth. I love Blabbermouth. Do what? Do what, Anthony?
I said nothing.
They are a bunch of liberal. They are. I mean, I say they're a bunch of liberal. I mean, they seem to be more liberal than they are conservative, and they're a bunch of for some reason the majority of the metal community is anti-Trump. So, which I don't get, but it's not like the Democrats tried to ban bad music back in the 80s. I guess they forgot that. I don't know.
You forgot the PMRC ever existed, right?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. I'm like, what in the world? You guys have no idea. I guess because I'm older, I remember that. I don't know.
Yeah, old Tipper Gore back in the day. I remember that.
Oh yeah, she's all about getting.
Ask a wasp, but they think of old Tipper Gore, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Wasp. They can suck me, eat me raw.
Wasp is still good, man. I still enjoy listening to them. To this
my gosh, dude! Every time something classic comes on the Sirius with Wasp, I will crank it up. Love it.
Yeah,
I still love their first 3 albums.
They're one of those bands though, when they come on in the house and the kids are together like, "What? No, fuck me."
Well, depending on what song it is, yes, you can't listen. They don't have a lot of kid-friendly songs by no means. Oh my God.
I'm not afraid to play metal around my kids.
They were good back in the day. I remember them. Yeah, they were good.
Dude, we used to wear out live in the Raw, if you remember, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, jeez, taking me back, boys, taking me back.
Wild Child.
So we're doing the Twisted Sister Christmas album. Is that right?
I guess we're going to torture ourselves with that. Yes.
All right.
Come on, man. That's a fun album, man.
It looked like there's traditional Christmas songs on that album, so we'll give it a go.
I like old D. Snyder. I respect him. Let's see what he does with Christmas.
Should be fun.
Twisted Sister they weren't bad. I never got into them much, but they had some good songs.
Oh man, I had Stay Hungry when it came out, dude, back in the day.
I think I had that one too.
Classic.
But beyond their radio hits, they had some really, really good heavy rocking songs. So.
I actually had gone back. I remember getting Stay Hungry, then going back and getting the album before it. I can't remember the name it was right offhand, but or cassette back then. But
didn't it have like Bone in the title or something?
I don't remember, man. I really don't. I just remember it was like I think it was looked like a stainless steel cover with Twisted Sister in pink, maybe, or the TS symbol.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what the heck the name of the album was. I did watch they have a documentary on Netflix, which is great. It's absolutely great. It's worth watching for anybody out there. And I'm not knocking on Twisted Sister at all, because I still listen to, when it comes on, I want to rock. My kids even like, we're not going to take it and I want to rock. It just tells you, nothing like raising them in rebellion like that, is it? Oh, we're not going to take it.
I think one of my kids started, Libby started rocking out at something today. I forgot what it was. It might have been Slayer or Amon Amarth or something. Came on the thing. And
Good Lord.
It might have been Angel of Death by Slayer.
How old is Libby now?
Huh?
How old is Libby now?
She's 2. She just turned.
Oh, that's about the right age.
Cranking some Slayer for your 2-year-old. That's you're doing it right, man.
You know what? It's a history lesson. Angel of Death is a history lesson.
I plug it into Spotify or I plug it into Pandora, and then I determine what needs to be played and what needs to be skipped.
Yeah.
You just let it go.
So, like Balls to the Wall, I decided to skip that one today because that's probably not appropriate with kids.
That's not what it's about, though. It looks disgusting. It sounds disgusting. But
I don't want my kids going to Target going, "You got your balls to the wall." That just really wouldn't be. It wouldn't sound very good. You know what I mean?
It's quite humorous, actually.
Yeah.
But neither is your kids walking around screaming, "Auschwitz, the meaning of pain, the way that I want you to die."
That song is one of those I don't listen to often because it's
Angel of Death.
It's such a dark song, man. It's kind of.
It sounds dark.
Yeah, with lyrics like Auschwitz, the meaning of pain. Yeah, that's pretty dark.
It's one of those songs like, how do you actually get into a song like this when it's talking about a concentration camp and bad stuff happening there?
The way that I want you to die, slow death, immense decay. Oh my God, dude.
I'll skip.
I love it, dude. I used to worship that album. You have no idea. Rain and Blood. Oh my God.
Rain and Blood, yeah. I get where I like the Hell Awaits album a lot too. For some reason.
That's a raw album. It's good. It's not my favorite. I prefer the everybody's the fan favorite is obviously going to be and always be Rain and Blood. But man, I've always leaned toward South of Heaven. I think that album's fantastic. Yeah. It's a slower down. It's a slowed down album, and it's not as fast as its predecessor. But man, that's a good album.
Their very first one was the one I really get into a lot.
Oh, God.
Pentagram and the Devil on the Cover. What's that one?
Oh, that's Haunting the Chapel, ain't it? Or Show No Mercy. It's one of the two. I don't know.
Show No Mercy. There's some ridiculously killer songs on that album.
You got the one with Black Magic on it?
Yeah, I love Black Magic. That's a killer. It's a killer tune, man.
Oh, it certainly is.
Literally.
Chris is like, what in the heck are y'all talking about?
I'm just worn out. We had a late night last night, so.
Oh, dude, I know.
I got to catch up on some sleep.
Yeah, get sleep in. I get sleep to about 7 tomorrow. Chris, honestly, when I woke up this morning, I wasn't tired that bad. I got up and I was ready to kind of get my daily stuff going. But, man, when it got to be about 4 o'clock today, I was like, oh, my God.
But you hit the wall.
Balls
hit the wall, right?
Yeah, the balls were on the wall then, for sure.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Oh, my God. I meant to say, I saw another show this past weekend.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
I saw a couple of death metal bands. This band in particular, Archaic and Exhumed, which is a gore metal band, and they actually put on a show, guys. I know I was trying to convince Chris into doing it, but man, they had a guy. Oh my God, it's absolute death metal. This band's a technical death metal. These guys can shred on the guitar, actually burn up the fretboard. But and that's why I was there to see those guys. And Exhumed, I could care less about. I'm familiar with them, not a fan of them, but they came out with their full production show in this little tiny bar. When I say full production, they brought out the stage stuff like coffins, and they had the guy dressed up as like like a mad scientist or a butcher, and he came out with like a lantern. He was carrying it, and they had like all this fog in the place. Like you literally couldn't see the entire stage at all because it was so dark. And he come up walking through the crowd with a lantern, and he was like out of the way. And they had a chainsaw, and they were cutting stuff, and blood was going everywhere.
Oh my God.
Dude, I was like, oh my God. And these guys brought it. And let me tell you,
that's a small place too, man.
I'm telling you, really Chris, I met every one of those guys, and they were all just like down to earth dudes, like like we're talking right now. It's just like a conversation. Like hey man, we're just glad to be here. We'd love to come back. This is
every one of these shows we go to. Once you meet these guys, man, because they're all out there, shaking hands and selling merch and stuff.
When you play metal and you sing metal, you put it all out there, and it takes so much energy. It just mellows you out. These people who don't do metal, you have to worry about sometimes because they've got all this pent up stuff and they're hiding it. At least the metal guys getting all out on the stage,
Dude, I think, Chris, you're onto something. I think, and Anthony, to tie in with what you just said, I believe these metal musicians that are not, I'm talking about the regular level, and I'm not talking about the super bands, your Metallicas, your Megadeths, your Exodus, your Slayer, bands like that you're never going to get a chance in hell to sit down and have a conversation with. I'm talking about some of these just normal extreme bands that are just, out trying to make some money that in a day and time of music that money's not there, know? And these guys love hearing the appreciation. They love seeing it. Like, like the fan feedback. Like when I got to hang out with the guys from Warbringer dudes, those dudes were awesome. I basically did an interview with the guy. I wish I could have recorded it. We talked about war. We talked about World War II history for 30 minutes.
You did?
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a World War II buff. He's a huge World War II buff. And
is that in their music?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They sing all kinds of stuff.
Are they like Sabaton?
They're thrash metal. They're more thrash metal. Sabaton's got like
as far as their lyrics, are they singing about war like Sabaton?
Yeah, they sing about war a lot.
Yeah. Where did you see these guys?
I saw them at the Hideaway, dude.
Okay.
And there wasn't maybe 20 people. I mean, it was sad. 20 people were there. And I saw Ex Mortis there. I got to meet those guys and hang out. And not only that, when I saw Ex Mortis there, I went and saw Ex Mortis in January this year with Children of Bottom in a Bath. We got there to the merch booth. They remembered me from the freaking Johnson City show. Huh? I went down to Charlotte to see Children of Bottom in a Bath. ABBATH is black metal band.
I thought you were saying Children of something in a Bath is what it sounded like.
No, Children of Bottom and a band called
I thought you were saying Children in the Bottom of a Bath.
I thought I heard Soap and Bath, and I was like, what the hell? You had Bed Bath and Beyond in a metal show?
I was. It was fantastic. And we were clean. At least it was.
That must have been enough you saw at that Bed Bath and Beyond.
And they were great. We could have seen them. I think they came to Johnson City not too long ago, or maybe a year or so ago.
I could see them at Dixie at the food line up here bagging groceries.
That actually may be a true statement. I'll be honest with you.
They're part of the death of all the hair metal scene. Enough's enough.
Never was a fan.
It's time for it to go, man.
I got nothing against them. Never was a fan of them.
I'm not sure I can name one song those people sang. So.
I can't either. I just never was a fan of them.
I don't remember the name.
They have a song called like "Fly Me Michelle" or "Fly to Me Michelle" or something like that.
I think that was Slaughter, wasn't it?
Fly to the Angels, yes.
Yeah,
what the hell ever, yeah.
Fly to the Angels was Slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are retarded.
All right, let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, let's call it night. Guys, we've had fun. This has been a blast. I love hanging out. And my wife's probably going to kill me because I've been here like 25 minutes longer than I told her I would be.
Yeah, all right.
I got kids to put to bed. Gentlemen, y'all have a great week. And maybe we can do this again next week on Thursday.
Sounds good.
We'll talk about some Twisted Sister.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All right, until next week. Y'all stay heavy.
All right. Later, guys.